What I've got is 6 adults, a group, myself and my immediate family, along with a child of 3, my niece, were travelling back from Pakistan last year while it was in red list. As you know, when you come back from a red listed country, you have to come in through the managed hotel quarantine system, which we had to book through the government appointed body, which we did. We made a reservation for the rooms itself. Unfortunately, when we arrived at the airport, we had PCR tests, which we needed for the adults. The child was 3. We assumed that the UK law, they don't require it. But unfortunately, Qatar, I shouldn't have said the airline, but the airline actually said that they wanted a PCR certificate and therefore they wouldn't let us board. So we had to cancel the trip and then rearrange. Meanwhile, the hotel reservations were there. We rang them up and we got that changed in 10 days' time. And then we arrived back with the proper documentation and stayed in a London-based hotel. And all was well. We paid for the hotels and that was it. Only this week, I've received 3 letters now because 2 people were staying in each room, each one of them now being demanded £2,400 each from the Department of Health and Social Care. And it's a very generic letter. And all they're saying, right, that you owe us $2,400. And if you don't pay, we're going to pass this over to LCS, who's the debt agency, and they will pursue proceedings. There's no contact details for the Department of Health and Social Care for me to dispute, saying, well, actually, you got this wrong. We did actually come, but we came the following week, and it was the same reservation that was just moved forward. So somewhere along the line, it's been mixed up. I got the number of Google for Department of Health and Social Care. I've tried endlessly, and you just can't get through to them, no matter what. So I don't know what to do now, because obviously I'm fearful that they're going to pursue legal action against me and
Okay. Is there an address on the letter, Khalil?
There isn't, right? Because it's, as I said, it's a very bog standard generic letter, which has got Department of Social Healthcare and their logo at the top, and then underneath it's just got the invoice, the balance, the hotel name, and check-in date. And then, as I said, I can read out very rapidly if you want.
No. I don't need all of that. But Department of Health and Social Care. I'm actually Googling as we speak, Department of Health and Social Care address. It comes up pretty much immediately on Google, 39 Victoria Street, London, SW1H. I would write a letter, Khalil, including a copy of the invoice to that address. As I say, it's on Google. And keep the original invoice, just send them a copy of it. Write a letter, make sure you keep a copy of the letter explaining the circumstances and asking them to cancel the invoice. Now, it'll get thrown in a bin somewhere and nothing will be done with it, of course. But what will then happen is that they will eventually issue proceedings against you in the small claims court if you can't manage to speak to somebody beforehand. And I'm afraid you'll have to go to a judge, explain the situation, and the judge will say, Department of Health and Social Care, get out my courtroom. And it helps if you've got that letter to show that you wrote to them as soon as you got the first invoice. It just makes you look more credible.
Now, thank you very much for that advice. Would it benefit me if I was to make a dedicated trip to the Department of Health and Social Care Healthcare? Do you think I would ever get to speak to anybody there?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. If you make a what to the DHSC?
If I was to make a trip special, to the 39 Victoria Street, the address that you just suggested.
I wouldn't. You won't get to speak to anybody who knows what they're doing or who is relevant to your issue, and you could never prove what happened in the conversation. Keep it all in writing, Khalil.